What's going on, YouTube? How's everybody doing? Hey guys, listen, I'm back with another video here. Very popular request. Um, this request that I got from many people on these two TVs. Um, a lot of people were in the comments asking if I can do an upscaling, excuse me, an upscaling video on these two TVs. So that's what I'm gonna do. I try to do my best and you know um, fulfill everyone's requests here. I'm also gonna do an SDR gaming pretty soon as well with these two TVs, and then after that, I think that's it. I'm getting rid of the A95k. Um, so that's pretty much where I'm at with these two TVs, guys. Just please keep in mind when I do these comparisons here, I am going to disclose a few things right up front, and those disclosures are a lot of the pink that you're seeing through the camera is not necessarily what you're really seeing in person. It's no matter how much I try to edit it or change it, the exposure or whatever the case is through the camera, um, it's not really going to take away that pink. So I'm just leaving it kind of all natural and original and just disclosing that to you in person. So what I'm gonna do when I do show these comparisons is that I'm just gonna really just share what I see in person and kind of show you my settings. All right. So as you guys already know, if you watched my other videos recently, on the left we have the LG G3 in the 77-inch, and on the right we have the Sony A95k in the 65-inch. And I can tell you just right off the bat, what I'm seeing is that upscaling is great. I didn't think it was going to look as good as it does, but it actually looks very, very good. And keep in mind, we are watching or we are comparing this on an older original 2007 DVD, which is the movie Transformers from the year 2007. So, and again, it is um, the original DVD. So keep that in mind. I am playing it through the PS5 as well. So I'm going to show you my settings. Let's go to the A95K first. And it's going to pretty much be the same as it was last time on the Avatar Way of the Water comparison when I was doing all the cutscene comparisons in those. As you can see, we are in standard mode. Right there highlighted in blue. If you want to pause it and zoom in, you can so you can see better. I'm going to go to the left here. I'm going to go to picture settings and click on that. And I just want to show you guys where the color and the brightness is. So brightness is max, contrast is max, gamma is set right in the middle, black levels are set right in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and, go back in. I want to show you where color is. Sorry about that, guys, but here you go. And then color is set to 65 like it was last time. I feel like that's a good spot right there. Personally, I know some people say you should really put it down to 50. I just feel like you don't get as much color vibrancy when it's down to 50. And then when you put it over 65, I feel like it's a little too much, especially when it comes to like watching and streaming content. Not so much gaming. Gaming is cool to have the color up higher depending on what game you play, but generally I do still keep it at 65. So that's kind of where I'm at. And then we're going to go to the LG G3 right here on the left. And just to show you guys, I'm going to switch this to standard mode. Oop. Let's keep going. Okay, there you go. Now we're in standard mode. We're going to go to advanced settings, and I'm going to go down to brightness. Oh, I guess once you, for some reason, I'm going to put brightness all the way up, just like the A95K, so that's even. try to make it as fair as possible. I'm going to bring the contrast up. I wonder what changed. Sometimes things change automatically. You have black levels and then you have peak brightness. That turned off. Let's put that on high. And gamma is on the 2.2. Sorry. All right. And that's where we're at there. So now trying to make it as even as possible with these two TVs. So now that we're in standard mode, guys, I wanted to stop at this scene right here, right in the beginning, because I have to say, I feel like although the G3 is brighter in the upscaling portion and playing a 1080p movie, it looks a little bit more grainier than the A95k, and I feel like some of that could be because of the brightness is showing the grain more, or or the noise. And on the 65-inch, being that it's the downfall for me, or the negative for me, is that it's still kind of dark and still not upscaled properly. But what I do like is the gradation, or the grains look a lot smoother. And that could be because of the size of the TV too. So, and that the fact that it's more dim in standard mode. So as you can see, like in the shadow of the helicopter, they're both perfectly black. I don't really see any imperfections there or anything like that. So that's really nice. And I just feel like when you're watching a movie that's older and you're upscaling, you probably do want more brightness just to make up for it being a 1080p on a 4K screen, because automatically what 4K does is it just tries to fill in for it being 1080p and try to upscale it and do its best to make it look as close as 4K as possible. And I got to say, they probably do the job almost the same in this comparison, though. I think because of the size, some scenes might look a little bit more noisy than others. And this, I think, I wanted to stop it at this scene just to kind of show you that example. So if you look really close, I'm going to pull it up. You can kind of see where the sand is, like in this area here. You see how it's kind of a little bit noisy. And I think that's because the brightness is exposing it more. You see how it's more grainy around there. And then we'll go to the A95K. And you see how it kind of looks a little bit smoother in that area. And it might be because it's a smaller screen, so better pixel density, and the fact that it's definitely more dim. So it could be hiding it better because it's dim too. So that's all I kind of wanted to point out right there. The upscaling level, though, in my opinion, is the same. Like the way it looks overall is basically the same. So just wanted to kind of tell you what I see there. So here's the cool part, though. You can always switch it to whatever mode you want. And of course, you guys can always dial down your internal settings too on your end. But, that's everybody. That's like a personal preference thing. So now we're going to go to cinema, which I really enjoy cinema right now, just looking at it on the LG G3. And then we're going to go. And then my understanding is that cinema is supposed to be the most accurate, but I'm not sure. Let's go to cinema here. All right. So they kind of look the same to me at first glance. I probably would say that definitely the LG still looks brighter on the left. The overall picture still has a hint of pink on the right, which is the A95K. But at the same time, I do like the way it looks better on the A95K in this particular scene. in cinema mode. Even though it's more dim, it just looks, again, just like the what the picture mode is called. It does look more cinematic to me, in my personal opinion. Like if you went to the movies, it would literally look more like the A95K. But again, that's a personal preference, or that's a personal opinion. You guys can always on your end decide what you like. And I know a lot of people out there definitely anticipating the A95L. So we're going to see what that's all about too. So thank you for that. And then I'm going to switch really quick to, sorry, I'm going to switch really quick to IMAX Enhanced. It's sometimes I like IMAX Enhanced and Cinema to me sometimes look exactly the same, like there's no difference. But if I go into the internal settings, I probably would see if like some things were activated or deactivated or whatever the case is. But as far as like the image goes, it looks pretty much the same. Um, and then I'm gonna go here, and then we're going to go filmmaker mode. All right. So here's another thing. It's like now you guys saw me put the brightness all the way up, and then for some reason it went back down. So here, let me just, all right. So I'm not understanding why it's doing that. Let me just flip back to standard and see if it did the same thing. Nope, it stayed at 100. All right. So let's go back. Maybe I just never hit close or something like that. The filmmaker mode. All right. Now, in filmmaker mode, I know on through the camera, it looks like the A95K is more dim. Just to let you guys know, that is because of the pink that you're seeing through the camera. I would say in real time or in person, definitely looks a little more natural, a little bit brighter, actually, in this particular scene than the LG. Don't get me wrong, the LG's blacks look perfect. So does the A95K. I just think that in this particular scene, that the in this mode, I would have to say the A95K looks a little bit brighter, and but both the blacks are perfect. So I just wanted to kind of point that out. That noise looks the same. Um, Both look exactly the same. I don't see any difference in that kind of like noise that you see in the background when you play. You know, and every older movie is going to have that kind of great gradation, or and I know you can smooth it out, but um, I just wanted to keep it, you know, just raw so you guys can see what it looks like out the box. So, all right. So we're gonna skip a couple scenes here. I want to go to like some darker scenes and some skin tones. So I missed this movie. This movie was sick. This movie to me is the so far still the best Transformers movie that ever came out. Who's gonna go and see the new Transformers movie, Beast Wars? I know I am. I think that comes out like in a couple days. All right, so let me try it. Here we go. All right, good scene here. So skin tones, guys. Another thing I wanted to get into. Um, in the camera, it's going to look like the A95K makes the skin tones more like an orangey or pink, but I promise you guys, it's definitely not the case. That is just the way QD OLEDs look through a camera. Um, Now, again, we're in the same modes, IMAX Enhanced and Filmmaker for the LG G3, and then again, IMAX Enhanced on the A95K, right, and that we're looking at right now. Same thing, but for some odd reason, it looks a little bit brighter on the LG G3. I'm just telling you guys what I see. I know it sounds like I'm flipping back and forth, but guys, you have to remember these things change these TVs battle it out back and forth, scene by scene. It's never going to be like uniformed the entire way. That's what makes these two different technologies uh, differentiate from each other. It's just the fact that they go blow for blow when you see them side by side. It doesn't matter whether you're watching HDR, like a UHD 4K movie, just like we were doing the cutscenes on Avatar, Way of the Water. It doesn't matter if you are gaming in 4K. I know it's not going to matter when we do gaming in SDR. For example, the Nintendo Switch, we will be doing that. I just know, just out of experience, that this is a very common thing. So again, I just want to explain what I'm seeing, and I'm seeing more brightness now with the background in the sky, um, just the overall picture brighter. So I do see more clarity in the A95K. So I'm going to do a close up so I can show you what I mean by that. Um, but the skin tones, going back to the skin tones, guys, they look the same. I would just say probably on the A95K, they do look a little bit more accurate, but it's ever so slightly. Like you really wouldn't even notice the difference. All right, so what I want to talk about as far as clarity goes and show you guys what I see is when you look at here, I'm going to lift it up and get closer for you. When you look at the A95K, one thing I noticed right off the bat is this his uniform, like his clothing that he's wearing, definitely has more clarity, um, and which will bring out more detail to the picture that you're seeing right there. So I gotta give respect when respect is due, and look at that. And then we're gonna go to the LG. And yep, there is a lot of detail, but over here in this section here, just seems to be a little bit more blurry or blurred out. And it could be because of the screen size, I don't know. Or it could be because we're in filmmaker mode too. And that's the thing, the different picture modes also change what it looks like, but the badge doesn't look as clear. So that's another thing I wanted to point out right there. So let's switch it. We're going to switch it to a different picture mode. And I would think that most people would probably want to watch this in standard just for the brightness when you're looking for upscaling. But we're going to switch it to cinema. And then we're going to go here and switch it. Oh, we were in cinema. So hold on. Let's see what it looks like. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's sound mode. Yeah, filmmaker mode. In the upscaling, I see more detail. Although it is more dim, I when you're in cinema mode, I don't think that really matters. Or if you're in filmmaker mode, I don't think that really matters because a lot of those modes are kind of like creator intent or accuracy. They go for accuracy. So now let's put it in standard mode, which is the mode that I like to put it in when I'm watching upscaled movies. So let's go to standard. And now let's go to standard on the A95K. All right, so I'm just telling you guys like right off the bat, Um, Definitely like the G3 better in standard mode. It's got more punch. It's got more pop. It's just killing it right now. It's bringing out more detail too, and it's bringing out more color like in the notepad. So I see actually more color in the notepad on the G3 versus the A95K. So, again, these two TVs just go blow for blow, guys. So I would say, if you're okay with the 65 inch and you're looking for, a great QD OLED, and you're not ready to go with the current model year, the A95K will definitely do it for you. changer with the OLED. So if you've had OLEDs for a long time, you've never had an OLED like the G3. Just period. I don't care what anyone says. I know a lot of people say I'd rather go with the 83-inch non-MLA and this and that. I get it. That's cool because you like the immersion, but 77 inch is plenty big for most of us. And, I will say I would rather have this picture quality, used to the same thing all the time. With every OLED coming out on E7, the CXs, the C1s, the C2s, and then now I have the G2. I never had a C1 or a C2. I didn't feel like it was really a big enough change to do that. I skipped from the CX to the G2, and I will tell you, it was every single time you got the TV, it was like, all right. I mean, it's a little bit better. You know what I mean? It's not like a leap. The 77-inch LG G3, in my personal opinion, was a leap. And in so many ways, I really like the way the color pops a lot more than any other OLED that I ever had with LG. And, I just truly appreciate it. And I just love LG as a brand because I recognize them for their reliability, things like that. They're just good TVs, and they're again, it's really cool how these two go blow for blow. The colors look exactly the same right here. Like the red flames look exactly the same to me. I don't see, I mean, you can argue that maybe they're a tiny bit more red on the A95K. Honestly, guys, I don't really see a difference at all. So now I'm just going to do something for fun. I'm going to put this particular scene in vivid mode and let's just see at its full potential what it looks like for both. All right, so here we go. Yeah, I'm just taking a deep breath and looking here. Yeah, it looks, this is something else. So yeah. Now, I will say this area here, I'm going to do a close up in vivid mode. His face definitely just, it does look more gold in just like it does in the camera. It looks very, very similar to that. And over here, it's not as gold, but look how close they are in color. It's almost like, you know, like what a preference thing. I like it a lot. But, you know, everybody has their own personal opinions on that. So, you know, let me just see if I can maybe find one more scene for you guys before I let you go. But man, I gotta tell you, this is yeah, here we go. Right. Right here. Excuse me. I wanted to use this scene because of all the colors in this thing. All right, let's switch down to standard. But what do you guys think about what it looks like in vivid mode? Whoa. I mean, who knows? I might even watch it in vivid mode because of all the colors. It's sick. All right, so let's go to standard. And then let's go to standard on the A95K. So again, same scenario. The G3 definitely looks brighter. Color wise, I gotta go with. I do like the way the yellows look better on the A95K. Although Optimus Prime just looks like his colors look glorious on the G3. I'm sorry, I just had to say that. It's weird because certain colors on the QD OLED look better than they do and vice versa on the LG G3. But sometimes like that red could be a little too red for me. I feel like QD definitely pushes reds a lot. And that's probably why you see a lot of pink inside the inside white. But you know, I just like the way that the LG breaks the color better, like splits the blue, like where you see the red and the blue, like the red flames with the blue coloring around his chest area, like that just breaks up better and more detail in a more detailed way on the G3. Around his left arm, where the flames are in the red, it breaks it up better. Like you can see more color variations within the arm on the G3. And I know I'm nitpicking here, and these are things you wouldn't even notice, but you know, I do like the way that looks personally better on the G3. I like the way you can see more colors within colors. It's kind of hard to explain. I'm not a pro, but that's just what I'm seeing right there. So, so what you guys think? You know, I don't want to go too far into this. I'm gonna put it in cinema, and I'm gonna also put it in cinema here. Again, guys, this actually, you know what? This for some reason looks a little bit different, but um, generally the same in cinema mode. Very accurate. I would say that again on the A95K in cinema mode, Probably looks more like how you would actually see it at the movies. Just a little bit more accurate there as far as cinema mode goes. Let's go down to IMAX Enhanced. And again, I'm not really seeing a difference between IMAX Enhanced and cinema mode. If you guys can tell me what the difference is, I would really appreciate it. But let's go to filmmaker mode. And there we go. I'm not seeing a huge difference between cinema mode and filmmaker mode, and then cinema mode and IMAX Enhanced. I'm just not really seeing it. I don't know if it's because we're in 4K, but I think it was the same thing when we were watching, when we were looking at the cutscenes in Way of the Water, Avatar in my last video. So, but there you go, guys. So what do you think? All right. So, my overall perception or my overall opinion is, for me personally, and I don't know if you guys will agree or not, but and how you guys like to watch movies that get upscaled. Um, but for me, I would personally rather watch it in standard mode. It's a good happy medium for me because I like how the brightness brings the colors out. I'm gonna put it back um, to standard mode. Wow, sports mode is crazy too, but it's a little washed out. Um, Standard mode, and then I'll put it back to standard mode here too on the A95k for you. So like, and keep in mind too, guys, that they're both TVs are on cool, and I know a lot of people like to watch warm, but I just like cool better. Brings the blues out better to me. But anyways, the reason why I like the G3 over the A95K in watching and upscaling is because the brightness, just the overall brightness without sacrificing color. So like on the OLEDs, on the older OLEDs, that was always an issue. It's like the brighter it got, the more washed out the colors. So with this MLA technology, that was the whole point of why they created it. They wanted to create a technology where they would give you more brightness, also being energy conservative, and without losing color. So that was always the big thing about the past OLEDs that I didn't that and I noticed that with all of them, that for no matter how many improvements they made over the years, that was always an issue. So and I definitely have noticed that. So when QD OLED came out last year, and OLED kind of just stayed the same. Yeah, I bought the G2, don't get me wrong, because I just love OLEDs TVs and I love that contrast and the perfect blacks. Um, and I actually replaced a Sony LED TV. I think it was like the CH900 or whatever it was. I can't even remember it, or the H900. Um, but anyways, I replaced that Sony with the G2, and I kind of regretted the punchiness and the brightness of an LED. But once I was like using the G2, I just got used to it, and I love it. And the motion processing in that TV in the G2, it just blew me away. Amazing experience while gaming in the G2, definitely top notch. So all of a sudden, I just forgot about the Sony. Um, and now that I got this QD OLED, going back to the QD OLED, I was like, how are you going to top that now? Because I got them all the same year. I got the G2, I got the S95B, and then I got the A95K. I got them, all three of them, the same year. And I loved them all for their own reason. And my overall favorite TV that kind of had it all for me was the G2. It had the overall experience in gaming. You can had the overall experience in immersion, smoothness, just everything for me. Build quality and things like that. It was the best happy medium TV for overall usage, and that's the TV I use the most. But with that being said, I still recognize that because again, I'm an owner of QD OLED. I do recognize that it was lacking in that color vibrancy and lacking in the color volume and that punch, and always just yearning for more of that, just in a bigger size. So now that the 77-inch MLA G3 came out, I was like, this might be the answer finally that all LG OLED fans know what I'm talking about when I say this, that we've been waiting for. And with that being said, I'm just, I love the TV. I am a huge fan of the LG G3 for what it has become versus what its predecessors were. So I personally think it's a big step up, and I think it makes a really big difference, and I absolutely love it. There's going to probably be other reviews out there that will say it's not worth it, don't do it, and things like that. And me personally, I do think it's worth it. Um, and hopefully next year, I'll be getting rid of the G2, and they'll come out with either an 83-inch QD OLED or an MLA OLED through LG. I'll probably be purchasing one of those most likely. So I'll probably be keeping the G2 till then, and just see what they come out with next year. So, that's my overall take on it. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Didn't mean to kind of elongate this video. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next one. I hope you guys like and subscribe. And I hope to see all your comments and let me know what you guys think. Thank you.